So equities probably are overvalued because the PE is the same level it was when rates were crashing, but now rates are much higher.
Dan Moorhead, CEO of Pantera Capital, a hedge fund with over $4.2 billion in assets under management, had this to say about stocks and crypto.
Well, if that's true, then equities are wildly overvalued.
That's true.
That's true.
It is true.
Okay.
You would think Bitcoin would
But then I would think that crypto would be wildly overvalued too.
Yeah.
So equities probably are overvalued because the PE is the same level it was when rates were crashing, but now rates are much higher. And if you took the normal equity risk premium for equities onto a 5% 10-year note, they should be 23% lower than today.
Because with core inflation oh so high and much stickier than people ever anticipated, a younger generation that's never lived through this type of inflation. Basically, the last 4 decades, inflation has been trending down. For the last 40 years or the last 4 decades, interest rates have been trending down. And this is all projecting that inflation rates are going to be higher and stickier for longer than anyone anticipated. Interestingly enough, though, people tend to think that when the Fed cuts, that's when things are good. Actually, history would show us that price can raise up until we cut, and once we cut, that is actually terrible. Now, Dan is actually projecting that the Fed will have to keep rates higher for longer, even up to several years. What he's saying is this market is altogether different than what we've seen over the last 40 years. And then the big question is, what does that mean for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? And the very interesting thing about the charts is on the Dow Jones on top and Bitcoin on the bottom is they were very much trading together, although Bitcoins were very much more violent to the upside and to the downside until the FTX collapse. And while this Bitcoin was collapsing, the Dow Jones was running, and we assumed that this was a bad thing, but from this time Bitcoin has not repegged, and Bitcoin has been up and the Dow Jones has been dropping. So is Dan crazy, or is he the smartest person in the room? My take is Bitcoin has been the highest performing asset over the last 13 years. With that comes a lot of volatility, and it can be deemed very risky, but it's extremely risky not to have any. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can join my Patreon if you want to learn how to trade. Peace, love, prosperity. God first, God bless. I'm out.